I just thought I'd throw in there that this is not another hate video on JACLYN Hill. I mean, clearly I own the entire brush set. Does that make someone automatically not a hater just because you buy their stuff? No, I don't think so, but this is not a hate video. Raw Beauty Christy. I'm not coming for your brand, I promise. I don't have a microscope or anything. My name is Sierra Shakespeare. Why do I keep feeling like I have nothing to introduce to say about myself? I don't know. What do I know about me? Like, I feel like the worst thing in the world is when someone says, let's go around the room and say something about ourselves. I'm like sweating. I need to leave. I do not know a single thing about myself. But the one thing I do want to say right now is, hello, my name is Sierra. I'm very interested in beauty and nutrition. I am actually studying nutrition right now, and I hope to become, well, I hope I am going to become a dietitian. There is something that recently popped up on my newsfeed that me and my husband actually were talking about. Editing Sierra is just going to cut me off right there because I got really boring and went into a long tangent that didn't make a lot of sense. Basically, JACLYN Hill posted this photo on her Instagram, so I posted it on my story because I thought it was interesting. And then I decided to film a YouTube video about it because I had a lot of thoughts about it. Also, this video has nothing to do with being skinny at all. This video has nothing to do with weight at all. No, I'm not talking about sizing because that has nothing to do with you or your self-worth or anything or this video. So, bye-bye. Actually, hello. Please watch this video. I'm just gonna start off with just reading the post because that seems like a pretty good place for me to start. The caption says, do what makes you happy, eat what makes you happy, be you, baby, and be proud. Okay, well, first of all, hello. Yes, she is stunning, but that is no new news. I wish I looked like that at the grocery store. That is like the type of just human I strive to be. I just got off work and I was like, okay, I'll touch up my makeup, but like I am not changing out of the sweatshirt or doing my hair. So here I am. So much things. Actually, okay, I'm just gonna get into it. So when I first saw this photo, I was like, yes, literally, JACLYN, go off. Because I know she's gotten so much hate for putting on weight, which first of all, if this is her putting on weight, no. That is just a terrible narrative for people to be hearing in general. She's tiny. I know that it's terrible to be commenting on people's weight, but like how terrible is it that she is our example of like someone who's putting on weight? Irregardless of her freaking body, that has nothing to do with her makeup abilities, her business abilities, and like I'm not commenting on her business. Like I didn't try anything from her company. This has nothing to do with that, in fact. Yeah, my husband got these for me for Christmas last year, which was all I literally wanted for Christmas. These are so stunning, so beautiful. This is the softest powder brush I have ever used. Just the best brush for a quick bronzer application. Like this foundation brush is my everyday foundation brush. Like this is what I use to put on foundation every single day that I wear foundation. Like I could go on and on. Fantastic. 10 out of 10. Would recommend. It is worth the freaking money. My husband also randomly surprised me and like got me this. Like, love it. This is so good. Also, my husband, which if you can't tell, he's wonderful and spoils me ridiculously. He bought me this for our first Valentine's together, so this holds so much special sentiment to me, and it's just disgusting and like a perfect freaking palette. I don't know why I'm like trying to prove to you that my husband loves buying me JACLYN Hill products, but I mean, I'm not sitting out here hating, and in fact, you know what? I'm not trying to make this video actually about JACLYN Hill. I think it's wonderful that she's standing up for herself. She is on a journey that we all are on to self-love and self-improvement. The thing that I really want to focus on today in this video is the sentence, eat what makes you happy, which there's a lot that goes into that. And honestly, I don't have all of the answers. I am very interested in being a dietitian. I am currently going to school for being a dietitian. I have been very interested in nutrition for almost 3 years now, but I am no licensed professional. And do your own research. Do what you gotta do to figure out what's gonna be best for you and for your body, because I don't think it is gonna be the same for everyone. Okay, so when I posted this on my story. I asked for people's thoughts on this with this emoji.
Also, I'm like rocking back and forth a little bit in this video, so I'm sorry if that's distracting.
I got a few responses, so I just want to read them for you here. The first one said, I think that everybody should do what they want with their bodies, and that's how they learn too. Everything in moderation for me, but I think that it's a personal choice. Okay, and then I got another message that also said everything in moderation. And I had a conversation with one of my friends. The message she sent me said, I hate this message, honestly. I think, yes, you should eat what you want to an extent, but if you're eating 5 packs of gummy bears every day because they make you happy, that's not good for you. We should not promote unhealthy lifestyles just because they're happy. I also don't think that people should feel ashamed or bad if they want to eat a bag of chips or whatever it may be. I had a hard day the other day, so I treated myself to some Ben & Jerry's ice cream. I don't feel bad for doing that, but I don't eat that every day because I know it's not good for me to eat that on a regular basis. I just don't like the message of doing whatever you want because it makes you happy. I feel that it leads to unhealthy choices and habits, and not only with food either. There's my 2 cents, lol. And then we had a bit of a conversation about that. I said, I think eating them in moderation helps prevent binge eating on these foods. And then I also said, plus people need to realize all the additives in foods that are making them addicted to their processed foods. And then we talked a little bit about processed foods, which is really not what this video is about, like, at all. And then she said, love your body at all stages and be grateful for it, but that doesn't mean don't try to improve it or make it better because you're not happy with it. We should not be promoting or even celebrating obesity, in my opinion. Love yourself while you continue to improve yourself. I want to celebrate health. I don't really care if you're skinny or not. If you're taking care of your body physically, emotionally, and mentally, then that's something to be celebrated. If you're anorexic or bulimic, that's not good either. But fat people think that we love shaming them, and that's just not what I think people are trying to do. And then I got a message from Sam Shine Makeup, and she says, okay, I think she's trying to be funny and relatable, but it's just weird to me. She also said, I think she's trying to make fun of herself because she recently gained weight, but I don't know, ... I wouldn't personally promote eat what makes you happy. That's an unhealthy mindset. Candy makes me happy, but it's not good for you, you know? And I also got another message from someone else, and they were talking to me more about this idea of eating when you're hungry and like listening to your body and having that gauge what you're wanting to eat. So she thinks this is a great message, really listening to your body and fueling your body with the type of things that are going to make your body feel its best, and like knowing the type of things that like break you out, or knowing if you're not hungry, don't eat. This person has had some different struggles with body image, as every human alive has, I'm sure. So she was really on board with that message. And I also bet there was a lot of other people that were on board with that message, but those were the people that reached out to me about that. So something that I really wanted to talk about was actually going off of this idea of listening to your body. You're not familiar with intuitive eating. It's not something I'm super familiar with, but I know it's gaining a lot of traction among different dietitians and just in the health world in general. It might sound like intuitively eat, but there is a lot more that goes into it too. I've listened to a couple podcasts today, and one about the author of the book who wrote the book in 1995. Just talking about this idea of intuitive eating is interesting because a lot of it is listening to your body and knowing when to eat things and when to not. Like I said, my understanding is very limited. This just seems like a really interesting approach to me because they're talking about how dieting doesn't work, which is something that I've learned in my classes. My husband also is currently taking a class to be a personal trainer, which, by the way, personal trainers are not supposed to be giving diet advice. This is just something that he also happened to learn in his training, but advice he wouldn't be given when he's actually practicing, is that dieting doesn't work. That's something I think for most people actually makes a lot of sense if you think about it. Like, this whole diet culture doesn't really work. That's something that really talked a lot about in my not my personal training, that's my husband, in my dietitian classes and my nutrition classes.
I didn't really specify what I mean by saying like diet culture, but I guess I'm more talking about like the diet cycle of like, oh, I need to go on a diet, and then you lose the weight, and then you gain it back, and then, oh, I need to go on a diet, and then you just end up going on this continual cycle. Like, diet culture is just like always talking about a diet, like always feeling like you have to be on a diet, just like always being bombarded with those messages of just dieting is like how you should live your life, just stuff like that.
I think that it's great that if you're able to get out of this diet culture mindset, but along with the intuitive eating, from my understanding, the phrase isn't eat what you want. The phrase is eat what you want, comma, mindfully. So I think there's a big differentiation between saying eat what you want mindfully and saying eat what you want. If you're just saying eating what you want to the public, to people, I can see how people would think that's promoting a bad mindset, because saying eat what you want is just that. Homegirl obviously wants 5 bags of chips. For me personally, it'd be like a big, just sheet pan of brownies. But if we're doing things mindfully, we need to think about, I know that if I eat an entire pan of brownies, my stomach is going to feel like crap. There is a chance that if I eat an entire pan of brownies, it is going to mess with my bowel movements. That is not something that I would be interested in. It might break me out. It might make me irritable. It might make me less hungry for the next meal that I should be eating, which is going to be a lot more nutrient dense. There are so many things that you can be mindfully thinking about when you are choosing to eat foods, even if it is something that you want to be eating. You know, I do think that in this human existence, there is something that we have to overcome sometimes, and that might be our natural desires. Our natural desires might not always be what's best for us. I think that's something that I always grew up calling it the natural man. The natural man inside of us isn't necessarily always going to make the right decisions, especially if that side of us is used to constantly be eating and overeating and binge eating on foods that we shouldn't be eating. But I also do think that we do have a natural part of our bodies. I am contradicting myself, I understand, but I don't have all the answers yet. If we are fueling it correctly, it can be a natural guide for ourselves of when we are full and when we are not. But I don't think that if someone's used to eating poorly, that they're automatically gonna have a guide of knowing when to stop eating or when to start. I don't know, what's your opinion on that? Do you think that our body is something we should be listening to, shouldn't be listening to? Is it the way that we've been living our lives that's going to allow us to be able to make those choices for ourselves? Like I said, I don't have all the answers, but I also do think something that is very important to know is that if you are living a very restrictive diet, I mentioned this earlier in one of my messages, is that I do think that it leads to binge eating.
Okay, the one shady thing I am gonna say is it does look a little bit like she is binge eating in this photo. And I don't think we should be normalizing binge eating.
And that is not good for anyone. That is terrible mentally, obviously terrible for you physically, but way worse for you mentally. So along with that, obviously there's a lot of body image that goes into any discussion when it comes to food, especially deciding what is the right for you. I'm not really wanting to focus too much on body image today. I really just wanted to focus on this line of eat what makes you happy. I understand that, you know, people want to be happy, and most people have a really unhealthy relationship with food. If your way to get over your unhealthy relationship with food is to only eat the foods that you want to eat, only reason being that they make you happy, I think that that's not going to be a wonderful solution for you. I think if you're wanting to be happy by your food choices, you gotta be doing that mindfully. You can't just be consuming whatever you want because it makes you happy, because that's not gonna make you feel great. And there's so much that goes into self-love. I think that this post is coming from a place of self-love and self-acceptance, which isn't that something we should all be striving for and encouraging? But you know what else that I think is self-love? I think self-love is wanting to eat carrots, because you know that that's going to help with your vision. Self-love is wanting to drink water because you know that's how your body naturally regulates its temperature. And so many benefits to water. Like, that's your natural lubricant for your innards. Like, water is key. I also think that it's self-love to understand that heart disease runs in your family and you don't want to carry on that disease. You want to be taking the steps and initiative because you love your body so much that you don't want to get heart disease. The kinder you are to your body, the kinder it's going to be to you.
Jay and I also just wanted to say that self-love obviously is a mental and physical. You have to mentally be good to your body, but it is physically too. We can't diminish the fact that you need to be physically kind to your body. I think another good example of self-love is in those moments when you do eat those things that you're not necessarily proud of yourself for eating. To not feel any shame or any guilt for that. Self-love is in those moments when you eat the things that aren't the best for you. It doesn't matter about your worth, because eating those things have nothing to do with your worth. That might not be the best for your body, but that has nothing to do with anything of who you are. That is true self-love.
Obviously, it is a mental battle as well. And I'm not certified on body positivity and self-confidence and self-love. I think that that is something that we're all on a journey, we're all on a spectrum for, and I don't think that we should ever feel shame for eating food. I don't think that that's ever going to lead us down a happy path. I think it would be so great if we could all get to a point where we do feel the joy for making the good decisions and enjoy the moments when we have treats and snacks, but just like mindfully. It is so important to eat mindfully, because I understand the absolute need for eating things that make you happy sometimes. I obviously eat things that I like to eat sometimes. Like, I loved baked goods. I refuse to never eat baked goods as long as I live. Like, if someone brings me over a plate of Christmas cookies, I'm gonna eat some. Am I gonna eat all of them this last Christmas? No, I did not. I mean, I would try them because that would just be rude of me to not. But you can share. Anyways, share. Gee, how freaking revolutionary is that, Sarah? It's not. Anyways, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. JACLYN Hill. I'm not a hater at all. In fact, this video is really about you. For once, someone's not just making a video to hate on you. I actually just want to talk about food because I think food is an absolutely wonderful thing. So yeah. Have a wonderful day. Okay.